Have you ever wanted to paint from life but didn't know how to start? Painting from still life comes with its own challenges, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my process of painting from life. The reason why I decided to paint this piece was because I really wanted to sort of have this experience of going to pick these flowers, creating my own vessel, bouquet of flowers, and then painting from still life. And I didn't know the amount of small challenges and bigger challenges that I would come across when painting. Another issue that I came across as I was collecting these flowers, they were wilting in front of my eyes, and I was like, oh my goodness. I thought I would go further and explore more spaces that had lovely flowers on the road, on the streets, but I couldn't. I rushed back and I had to quickly salvage the flowers. I had to make sure I hydrate them, and because I had to hydrate them, I had to put them in a vessel, I had to fix them as fast as I could. So I was able to do that. That means my energy levels kept going down. And then now I had to prepare a setup for the painting session. I wanted to paint outside. I feel like painting outside is such a nice way to connect with nature. And I use my balcony as a space to create. So it was so nice that I set up here. The sun was good, and I was able to sit and start my painting session. Despite being tired from the first half of the day where I had to go and find the flowers and hydrate them and make sure that they were alive before I could start painting. I had to take pictures. I had to just make sure that I have some footage of the flowers that I had already arranged. So if you want to know how to paint loose, this is where now I can explain clearly how I was painting loose. So what I was doing was I was starting from a broader to more detailed. So I start from the bigger picture, which was the whole canvas, and making sure that I have placed everything in the right position. And then when I was happy with that, that's when I went into the details. After that, I started painting. So here I'm painting and I'm making sure that I have put in the bold colors on the canvas. The thing that I was experiencing when painting from still life was there was just too much information. The information I was getting was too much. So I had to sort of cut down the amount of information I was getting and just go in with the bigger shapes. So I started with the bigger shapes and then made sure that all the colors are in and making sure my composition was fine. And then that's how I went on into doing the details. Once I was comfortable with the shapes and composition, I focused on the red rose. My goal is to have attention on this part, and that's why I made the flowers more detailed. The rest of the canvas was mainly loose, and here I'm making sure I blend the surrounding and the flowers to give it a more cohesive look. Now I start venturing outwards, adding more features, focusing on the leaves and the vessel. At this point, I am making sure I'm adding all the elements that I need for this painting. Making sure all the leaves are in. I am making sure that I'm putting in my shadows as well. I went on to the leaves, and the leaves were a little bit I wasn't supposed to detail them, but I think I got carried away as I was painting. But when I looked at it from a broader point of view, I saw how I one thing you need to understand is if you are painting and you decide to focus on certain parts of the painting, that's where the eyes will be drawn to. So the more detailed the part is, the more the eyes will be drawn to that detail. And that's what I was trying to avoid. So I was I had to stop detailing the leaves so that I focus more on the main composition of the painting, which is the main flower, the red flower. So the rest of the painting has to be loose. And I was also making sure um, I'm painting my background surrounding as I was painting the main painting. I wanted the painting to have like bumps. I didn't want it to be smooth. I wanted it to look like a painting, not a picture. So I was really going for that paint brush strokes and making sure that some bumps of the paint remains on the canvas. A few things that I'm considering when painting this piece, aside from the big shapes and shadows, I'm also considering the highlights because they're helping me know where my shadows fall. This helps me also have a fluid blend and a smooth transition that I am aiming for in this piece. One thing to also consider is I didn't trace as I started my painting. The reason I didn't trace is to enable me to paint loose and not be too constrained by the sharp edges. I was aiming for a more fluid painting, and that's why I didn't feel the need to trace. I'm not a fan of tracing as I love the looseness that comes from directly painting on canvas and adding texture with the oil paint and making sure that the brush strokes are evident on the canvas. So I am still working on this piece, and right now, as you can see, the painting is still in progress. I'm painting loose, so I'm not really looking into the details of the piece. So far, I mean, I like the progress and I like the direction it's taking. It's something that I didn't think I would create. I always get surprised when I create something, but yeah, initially I wanted the purple colors or the purple flowers to be the main character of the painting, but that wasn't gonna happen because half of them already withered. I managed to salvage a few, and from there I was able to put the flowers together, and finally I was able to continue with this painting. So I am just getting comfortable and getting ready for today's session and just making sure that I'm relaxed and ready to start painting. Before you even start painting, you have to understand that you need to prepare for your painting session. This is where you find that you have to mix your colors ahead of time, prepare your setup and environment for the painting session. This will give you a go ahead to whether you have an enjoyable painting session or not. And for me, I prefer to premix my colors in advance so that that way I can focus more on painting than mixing my colors. Every painting session comes with its own challenges. Some days are easy, while other days require more effort. I went through the ups and downs of painting through these sessions and making sure I pushed through each painting session. Painting or creating art is not a linear experience, and we have to embrace the different flows that come with it. Painting loose and painting from life is a good way to explore your creative practice, and it also helps you to know what you really like and what you don't like about the process. For me, this process taught me a lot. It made me realize how I was so used to paint from static images, while painting from life comes with a full four-dimension object. And this can make you lose focus and you might feel overwhelmed. But the positive aspect of painting from life is that it makes your creation unique. because only you can decipher what is important when painting and what you want the viewer to focus on, and even how to go about it. You're also painting from a certain angle, so only you who's viewing the object from that angle can see how the shadows fall on that object, or how the overall image or object you're painting looks like. So it's unique to your point of view, and also the creation and the painting that you create at the end will also be unique.
Right now, what I'm waiting or what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to complete the vessel. It's a reflective component. So because it's reflective and it has water, lucky for me, I still have the actual vessel with me. So this is what I'm using. And I've just filled it with water, and I'm just going to use it as a guide for me to finish this piece. I am going to, let me just explain or elaborate it for you. What I'm going to do is, from the reference that I'm looking at, which is the jar that I just showed you, I'm going to divide the vessel into three. So it sort of has a shape, but it's also a little bit straight. I think this is what I've been struggling with. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but right now this is what I have. What I have here is I'm thinking of dividing it. I've looked at the vessel in detail right now, and if I divide it, it would give me good angles on the ground, good landing sort of, and then I can sort of fix fix it up, and sort of also, like, I think I will also fix this part a little bit. Here I like this. I like the brushes, how they are visible. Let me see.
Mm, so, for the remainder of this session, I will just share my thoughts as I am pushing through the last leg of this project.
I feel like I need to figure out how to balance. Is it balance? I think I'm getting balanced better in terms of just life, and not being feeling so guilty for not completing certain projects, and also putting my priorities straight, and verbalizing my priorities with people around me, saying, "Hey, I have this project that I am prioritizing, and I'm prioritizing this because of that." I think it's hard to verbalize it because, according to me, the way my brain or mindset has developed was I would feel like I would be inconveniencing people, and because I wouldn't want to inconvenience people, it would be very hard for me to verbally say I am prioritizing this aspect of my day to my art. And the reason of that is also because when it comes to art, it's you believing in something that people wouldn't see, like your vision. You have a vision of what you want to create, and it could be subjective, and the value, how someone values art, is very personal. And if the person you're with maybe prioritizes other aspects of life, maybe I would give an example, prioritizes a 9 to 5 compared to art, and because art is so subjective, it would be very hard to communicate with people around you, especially if they're not artistically inclined. On the other side, art really, I could say, has saved me through the years. It has given me sort of like it has given me something to look forward to. It has given me a form of concentration, because you cannot create these pieces without having that level of concentration, which is what most people try and achieve through meditation and different activities. So for me, having art as that tool that I can use to ground me and to help me refocus, because I have to focus to paint. I have to focus to create. Is something I'm thankful for. It has saved me in my down times. It has also helped me explore imagination. If I'm able to explain or make you feel something through art, I mean that's all that's needed really for the art. The art has to speak, I think. It speaks to me. So if it speaks to me, I believe it to speak to someone else. And having that form of art expressed and shared, and the messages can vary, is something I think I treasure when it's with art.
And this is the final piece. I hope this video has helped you or given you insight on how to paint from life. If you like this type of video or content like this, be sure to subscribe and comment below on any questions or topics you would like to see from me. And see you in the next video.